So I have got that wet by the use of a spray thing as well as my brush, but I'm just lazy. Bit more water on, plenty of water on this one. Choose your colour. Find a nice pointy brush. This is a number 2 mop, and I'm going to find my, I'm going to use Daniel Smith's Moon Glow with this one, which is a purpley mauvey type thing. And then around about halfway, just lower than halfway, I'm going to put in the trees. Like we did last week, ladies that were there. Just some indications of trees. Across the horizon that we haven't got. And I need a bit more water at the top. Make sure they've got if you can see the sheen, it's good. And then a weak mixture of that, the colour that you're using, and just drop in the sky. I'm just doing a wiggly line and letting it flow. And I'm going to lift it up, and then it will flow even more upwards. So I've got a line of trees and a line of clouds, and I've got this puddle now, so I'm going to make it come back down that way. And you can see, can you see? Yes, it's coming down and it's meeting the trees and sort of running around, and I'm going to do it that way. And I think that's about in. And that's all we need to do for that bit. Then we need to, whilst it's still a bit wet and I'm giving it a bit more water, just putting some in that area there, about a third of the way up the page. Again, with your colour, whatever you're using, it'll be interesting to see what colours you've got. I'm just going to do a line, which is the foreground, and that can be a bit darker because you're not viewing it through the mist. I've just noticed on my right hand side I've got a bit of a hard edge, so getting rid of that. And any others that happen to be about. I think it's not too bad. And then, just want a bit more dark in there. Pushing it up. And a bit of water and lifting it up again, let it dribble. And I'm going to wash my brush and put that to one side. Okay, so let's get some water on. Not as much as before. I'm just going to do it a little bit just to help the paint. And it is only a little bit this time because we're doing wet on dry. So with my burnt umber, raw umber, burnt umber, I think, I'm going to put in these fields, and it's just brown brown marks there. And another bit there. So that's that bit. Now I want to darken it up slightly, so I'm going to use a little bit of blue, or I'm actually using this Daniel Smith Moon Glow just to make it darker, because this bit that sticks up is the hedgerow. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker in places, just painting over the top of that burnt umber. And then I'm going to put some sky in. I've been so used to painting stuff without sky that I keep forgetting to put it in first. Anyway, plenty of water on the top of where the sky is. Try not to let it bleed in. And my sky is, what did I say it was? I'm going to have a little bit of moon glow. I'm into this moon glow at the moment. I'm going to put a little bit of moon glow in there. Just pull it down slightly. I always start higher at the right. I don't know why. It's obviously the way that my brain is wired. And then a little bit of the raw sienna or yellow ochre. Either side of that, letting it, not painting it into it, but pushing it into it so that it merges. And that is my sky. And I'm going to get a tissue, she says. I'm going to make a little bit like this, sort of circular. Hold it at the back, and then about there, push it down and pick it up. It's going to be my sun. Can't see much really, but it is. Take a little brush and just go round and make it circular-ish. So I've got a white hole. You can't really, I don't know whether you can see it. No, not really. Oh, there it is, look there, a white hole. I'm going to get a little bit of the yellow that I was using to go, and we're going to do a little bit of cloud across this sky, across this sun. So just pull a bit through. Fiddly. Just dropping some water around, some paint round that sun where the water still is, just to give it a little bit more distinctness. There we are. That bit's ready. Okay. Okay, bravery test. Tree. Tree line.
Oops.
Right. Okay. First tree line. Just do a wiggly bit there. it's got quiet. Feel quite able to turn your paper round if you need to.
Susan, can I be a pain and just have a quick look at your picture again, please?
Use a bigger brush. Right up to the top. I'm going to use, I've got a cocktail stick here. I'm going to use that just to scratch some lines of the trunk into it, you know, and perhaps a little bit on the bark. And that's it for the scratching, as it were. Right. Now, this can take you as long as you want. You can put as many branches on or as few. Or you could even have a dead tree. Half chopped down if you can't be bothered to, or don't want to fiddle with it. I'm not going to do too many branches on this, I don't think. So what else are we? Where? I think that's probably going to do me. We can see it's a tree. We know it's a tree. Now I've just gone over the bottom of the tree with a bit more paint because I'm going to pull it out as its shadow. We've got the sun here, so the shadow is going to come this way. I haven't got enough water on there, paint on there, so I'll just add some in. And I've got a puddle. There's my bit of tissue.
Susan, any chance I could just...
Okay. So that's that bit done. I'm going to do the bits of leaves and that, which is with a fairly dry brush. Dab it onto your sideways onto your palette, onto the paint, and she says, hopefully push it. Push it on. And that's just little bits. Some over there, there, and a bit up there. That's it. That's it for that. I don't like that shadow at all, so it's coming out. I shall do it again. Okay. So I've put my fence posts in, getting smaller, and giving the idea that perhaps it's going down the hill there. It may not be, but it gives that idea. I've not scratched, I scratched these first three. I haven't scratched those because the detail is too far away to be seen. And now I just have to wait a little while whilst it dries. I'm just going to give it a bit of a straighten up on that one. Whilst we're waiting for that to dry, and don't put your fingers on the fence post, get a little bit of your brown or your a mix of the brown and the darker colour that you've used, whatever one that is, and just on the tops of the bits sticking up, just give a little idea that there's some hedge. And then with another brush, just blend it away. And don't do too many, otherwise it just looks, I'm going to do some here. I just, my brush is going around in circles. Damp, clean brush, and blend it away. That's that. I've not got any. I sometimes just put a little few dots on the top because they're a few bits sticking out. So we got that far. We've got, I'm going to put my shadow more that way because it looks nicer. But before we do that, we need to have a bit of wire for these fences. So with your rigger, join your fences up. There you go. I've got a bit where you just did the bushes, you can't do it, or there needs to be another fence in there because otherwise it's too. Why it's still wet there, it's not going to be easy. So I'll leave that and then join that to the tree. Right, okay. So all we've got left to do now is to put some shadows in and a couple of birds, and I think that's it. So I'm using this number 2 mop here, which is quite small, back into your colour that you use for a tree. And I'm just going to draw from the base of the tree a shadow. And the same with the fence. And that, with the addition of a bird or two, is that. So I shall. Okay, so back to this blurred thing here, and this is what we're going to do. So basically, we're just going to do those flowers. Now I am going to use a pencil just to do, particularly mark the position of these two. So I have got my pencil, and I've got one that I'm copying that I prepared earlier, and I want this big flower, this one, up here. So I'm going to just mark it out very lightly, and it goes round like that and round like that. Can you see? If I do it too deep, dark, it goes like that, and then he's got a bit hanging down there like that, and then he has branches or bits that come out. It's not very easy to see with my pencil, and I don't want to draw it in it. So he's got bits that come round, and then it's got from there bits that hang down. So I've got bits hanging out, bits hanging down, and a stem that comes down to this foreground bit here. And we've got the next one, which I'm going to mark in, is this one. So I'm just going to do him over here, do a cup shape and stem down. He's got a bit sticking out the side with another one on in a cup. And we've also got this one that bends. So that starts there, goes up and bends that way. And it has a cup at the top. And then we've got the last one here, which is a bit tatty. And I'm just going to do a cup on that one. And he's got a sprig or leaf sprig coming out. And that is that. Hopefully, if you've taken a photograph of it, which is a very good idea, you'll be able to copy that as well as follow me. I'm going to use, I need some, hang on a minute. I'm going to do this one first. I usually start at this side, and then I find that I'm putting my hand on it. So I'm going to go over onto this flower here, which is this one. So it's a sort of, it's a cup. Like that. And it is sort of wispy on the top. It's got some bits hanging off it like that. And just drawing it in with strokes and few wispy bits. So that's that one. Right, bravery test to do this stalk. I'm only going to do it light, and I can't get down to the bottom. But that will do. I can draw some of that paint down with the water, and that's that one. That's got him in. I'm going to do this one now. This one up here, the big one. So where we've done the frilly bit, just sort of wiggle your paintbrush around to make that top, so it's sort of lacy. And then the few, he has a couple of bits sticking out like that, and one or two a bit bigger. Then, using a slightly bigger brush, but not too big, into the paint very lightly and just fill that in underneath. Not completely, because it needs to be see-through, because you've got the stalk bits that it's hanging on. So that's that seed head there. Now we do the support bits, whatever they're called. So one out to the edge, one to the next one. One out to the edge there. And then we've got some bits that hang down. Make them different lengths. And that's that seed head. I'm going to do the stalk. You need a steady hand. Decide which one goes over which one, whether that one crosses that one or vice versa. You can do whatever. And that's that one. How are we doing? Are you with me? Moving on to this one. So this one is, I did a cup. So I'm outlining that. And then I've got some different length lines. And now it has a frilly top to it. It dips a bit here. Don't want it all the same. All the same length. So I'm doing little circles really to make it frilly. And then do the bottom bits. I'm filling that in a bit more because I don't want it to be showing too much white through. So that's that one. Now I need to do the stem. All the way down. Yes. So we've got a little one coming off the end here. So I'm doing its stem. I didn't pick any paint up. Now I'll do its stem. And it's like this first one, really.
My neighbours tonight are talking.
And so we've done this little one here. I've got to put some leaves on it. Just oh, it does help if you have paint on your brush. Just a few leaves. And I've got to do this one here. So this one is a sort of a scruffy one. I think it's over. So it's just seed head, that one. So that's that one. And we've got a little one here. And that's got some leaves on. And I need to do stem because at the moment they are floating. And now I'm going to give this one some highlights. I'll turn the paper upside down so that I don't put my hand in it. And on the edges, on the left and on the right, just give it a little bit darker. And maybe across the top there. Just to give it a bit of definition. And the same with this one here. Make one or two of the bits of fluffy stuff on the top darker. And I think, oh, this one down here. So I was going to paper come back round again. This one down here. So I've done some darker pieces on that one. A bit darker up there. And that's it for that. I'm going to just let that dry a while and let you catch up. Fiddling now, you see? That's what it happens. I don't know what that is on my paper. It didn't take the paint. Never mind. It is what it is. How are we all doing? Are we there? Have we got that on? Yeah, I keep thinking, oh, I just add a little bit on there. And before you know it, I'll have the whole hedgerow totally defined. Won't be misty at all. and won't be what we wanted in the first place. There, stop. I've stopped fiddling. I just need a few bits of grass, something for them to be sitting in, because the stalks are just sitting there at the moment. Are you all okay? Are you with at that point? Yes, thumbs up if yes. Thumbs up, yes, yes. Right, okay. So we've done the bottom there where it's sitting on, and I'm just going to do little bits of grass now. More defined. This line here is going to be wet, so they're going to merge a bit. Going to bleed. And that I think is that. For that, oh, maybe a bird. Maybe a bird over that tree there, and one there. And I've